target, you try to get those target units out a little bit quicker, and he could have made a sentry, but it's not like he's like going Nexus first and not scouting and stuff. It's just an unfortunate chain of events.
That said, he's tried playing Stargate several times. We haven't really seen him try to play Robo at all, have we? Maybe back in the first or second game.
Yeah, the very first game, for the people just tune in, just to recap the series a little bit, the first game was played on the Ohana, where Naniwa went for sort of his quick +2 Blink Stalkers, what he's known for. Went up to 3 bases very quick. Nerchio camped on 4 bases. And we had an interesting game when Nerchio was much richer than Naniwa and defended the first push very well. But after that, Naniwa took a couple pretty good fights. And for a split second, you thought Naniwa might have been able to make a comeback in that game. Eventually, Nerchio was too rich and had too many Broodlords out. And Nerchio won that game. It was a nice game. The second game was the Stargate game of Naniwa on Daybreak, which went really well for Naniwa, but he didn't scout a 4th base of Nerchio, which was very exposed. Instead, kind of bumped his head into Spine Crawlers, had to back off, and then took a bad blink. But that was an interesting game as well. And game 3, well, I guess we know the story from there, but Naniwa getting super unfortunate when it comes down to build orders.
Yeah, and that was just time and time again. That's what the tale has been. And now we have a game number 6 with Nerchio leading 5-0. Nerchio going to return to his very standard play, and Naniwa looks like he is going to maybe even try to Nexus first.
Yes, he still has his probe on the other side of the map. Ooh, do you think Nerchio might going to drop a hatchery over here, Ben?
I think it's almost a guarantee at this point.
Then we might actually see a very fun game. I would love to see how Naniwa is going to react to this. Nerchio is going to... Oh, he's going to go for the Evo block.
Oh, that's so annoying.
I would have loved to see him complete the hatch, man. That would have...
would have made for some craziness. As it is, this Evo chamber is going to force some kind of reaction out of Naniwa. It's going to be to pull a lot of probes. Which is a pretty good one.
It's still going to finish, man.
Is it?
Yeah,
finish?
it's definitely going to finish. Look how quick it gets HP. It's
now
crazy.
He's going to have to be very careful not to lose probes to the inevitable broodlings that are going to come off of this. We see him already pulling some workers.
Well, he lost a lot of mining time now already. I guess links are going to be on the way. 6 links in production for Nerchio. Naniwa's just going to make his cannon over here. Ben, I think he's going to have to pull probes in once more. Broodlings are probably going to try to focus on the cannon, no? Or
they are going to just chase probes. Second drone. Oh, not Nerchio. It's not even funny. It's this is painful to watch.
6 links are about to come in, but Naniwa's gonna need to get one more gate. Well, the cannon will finish, I guess, but at least 1 or 2 links are gonna make their way into the main base. Wow, the cannon missed his shot because it went. Did you see that shot?
Yeah.
What happened?
Got up to the high ground, juked.
Juke.
And now 3 Zerglings is enough to be annoying, but not enough to really deal catastrophic amounts of damage. The problem is how far behind Naniwa finds himself here.
Yes, I agree.
I say that, but Nerchio hasn't expanded.
No, exactly. That's one thing that you can definitely hold on to. Naniwa knows about this. Where is that probe? Probe is going to try to build a gateway over here. So we're going to get a super interesting game where both players, their natural is super delayed. Is he going to drop the gate? Yes, he is. And well, he already has a pylon over here as well. So this is going to be quite annoying for Nerchio to expand.
Meanwhile, 3 links still running around in Naniwa's main base. Finally, the second Evo chamber has gone down, and Naniwa is going to be the first one to start an expansion as he blocks Nerchio's second attempt at taking his hatchery as well. So Nerchio really being thwarted here in his efforts to secure an expansion.
Naniwa ended up losing 1 probe, almost loses the second one, but nice micro there by the Swedish Protoss. Right now, Ben, we have the state of the game is 23 probes against 22 drones.
Yeah, all things considered, this is not bad at all for Naniwa. He actually comes out of that quite okay. Nerchio tried a little bit of cuteness there with the Evo chambers.
Naniwa's going to try to build another gate, maybe. But with 4 links over here.
I think at this point that would be a little bit too wasteful.
It's never too much, man. Naniwa tried to hide that probe, but Nerchio was aware of that. Immediately clicks his links. 1 extractor is going down already, but this is just a single extractor, so I don't think that really means a whole lot necessarily. Of course, 2 hatcheries going up in the same time. Naniwa's Nexus, as you mentioned, man, is going to finish a little bit before the hatcheries of Nerchio. But at the end of the day, Nerchio's still going to go on 3 base. So I guess we're going to have a a normal state of the game, but just with a 3-minute delay.
Normal-ish kind of like setback. Like
wow.
This is what happens when you play on fast instead of faster. As these guys are finally reaching that normal stable place that we're so familiar with the Forge expanding player against the 3-base Zerg player.
Now the timings are so off already for everything. So everything is going to be
little bit
quite
weird.
odd.
Little bit weird as a couple of drones are transferred down to Nerchio's natural.
You can really see that the previous games definitely have an impact on Naniwa. As Naniwa right now wipes in his second cannon, afraid of what's coming. That's also the power of a player like Nerchio, Ben. He is such a strong macro player, but you also know that he's capable of roach sling all lanes, of baning bust, and even of early pulls every now and then. And today is just one of the days where somehow everything works.
I think it's going to be maybe the roach variation this time, Kevin, as we see another big swell of units. Extra gases going down for Nerchio.
It might be banelings once more, man.
It's another possibility. Oh, actually, it's going to go layer. That's weird. What are you thinking there, Nerchio? He's really slowing down his economy a lot by making all these units. Maybe he saw something that made him feel like Naniwa wanted to get aggressive.
He saw Naniwa working on these rocks a little bit, no? Well, that was weird. My V button got stuck. I was like, what did I do? I broke the observer client, but my heart skipped a beat over there. And they're just going to work on these rocks, going to make it easier in case he has to defend later on. No big, it's a pretty quick lay attack, man. Taking a look at the natural, however, no additional extractors went down. So I have no idea why Nerchio wants to take this. I don't think it's going to be Muda play, because he would have taken more gases if that was the case. I have no idea.
I don't have a real good guess for you either. There's no additional tech, no Evo chambers, no Roach Horn, no nothing. I suppose it's possible he could just drop a Spire and then take extra gases, but okay, there's the infestation pit going down. Of course, that's basically the only other option you have on your layer tech. What is he going to do with this? I guess Infesterling?
Seems to be the case, man, as he already has quite a few links on the map and right now drops double evolution chamber, so interesting. I know she's going to take additional extractors now as well to make sure he has enough gas to produce all those infestors. I think this is quite okay for Naniwa so far, Ben, and this is also going to be the robo play that you ask for. You ask and you shall receive.
I'm happy to see it. I think the Stargate stuff really hasn't worked out, and this is just, I mean, robo is a very stable style.
You know, like, it hasn't worked out, but it's also, it's been unfortunate as well. Game 2 could have been a completely different game if it wasn't for one blink or perhaps scouting a little bit. A baning boss was just unfortunate. And that game on Metropolis, if Nerchio wouldn't have those two spore crawlers, Ben, I really would love to see how that battle turned out. Because right now it was so close, and it really came down to the last Stalkers just barely not being able to deal with those Mutalisks and stuff. If those Mutas have to shoot down 4 Void Rays, that is so much potential DPS that not went to the gateway units. I really think those spore crawlers changed everything in that fight. But yes, you're right, it's good to switch it up, so I'm happy to see Robo as well. And I'm very happy to see a very quick robotics bay, which is super crucial against the infestors. So as long as Nerchio doesn't bust like before the Colossus are out, but that shouldn't be the case, as Naniwa has plenty of cannons over here as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything Nerchio can do to pressure Naniwa right now.
I really like Naniwa's position, actually.
It's an ideal spot. Nerchio perhaps realizing it's just going to start taking bases, takes a 4th, takes a 5th, throws down his Spire. That means we're probably going to see the Hive start up soon. There it goes.
I really love this position of Naniwa. I think this is finally looking quite good for him. Finally, he decided not to make or finally he did not get the short straw when it comes down to build orders and whatnot. Facing infestors, of course, like, he didn't win the game, or he doesn't really have an advantage by any means, but at least he has something he can work with.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a much more comfortable spot for Naniwa than he's had in a couple of games. Like, really since games 1 and 2. Where we got to see both these players really trade punches. Ever since then, it's just been Nerchio doing various weird things and Naniwa sort of falling down to it. But now here we are, getting up to Hive. It's about the two-thirds of the way through its build time. Nerchio's got a pretty, decent base here. Zerglings, Infestors, upgrades are starting to come along. But Nani is doing so well here, adding gateways, getting more of those Colossi out.
I think Naniwa is going to go as soon as he has, well, 2.5, 3 Colossus, I guess. +2 is going to be ready by then. Blink should be ready. And I still think he should be able to hit a timing before the real Broodlords are out. Great Aspire is going to morph immediately for Naniwa. But Yeah, the spine crawlers are going down, but I still feel with 3-4 Colossus plus 2 Blink Stalkers, and there's not going to be any Broodlords. I think Naniwa might be able to hit the timing.
Nerchio's made so many drones. He's got 99 drones out on the map right now. That's
So Naniwa, Nerchio has.
it's kind of overdoing it. I mean, obviously he wants to translate a lot of that into spine crawlers.
Nerchio has 99 drones, man, but you ain't one of them. Would you love to be a drone for Nerchio?
I mean, Nerchio drones I think are pretty safe in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah. Until War Prisms show up, man.
I'll say this: you could be the 1 Ultra and you're guaranteed to be in the fight, or you could be one of the 99 drones, or you have a pretty good chance of being at a safe expansion somewhere.
But you could be the scouting drone.
You could be the scouting drone. That's like that's like the Hunger Games luck right there, man.
No, well, this is quite the Itosis pylon over here as well. As one pylon is scanning, powering 6 gates. Now he's moving forward, of course, slow and steady, as he doesn't want to get surrounded once more. But he's going to be quite fine until he runs into these spine crawlers. How many infestors do we have? We have 7 infestors, 12 corruptors, man. Naniwa is going to need at least 1 more Colossus. I thought he had coming. Ooh, Warp Prism perhaps over here as well. Some high ground Warp Pins. I like that, but Fungos could be very good, man. All the Zealots were so clumped up for a second.
Corruptor's going to make very short work of this Prism. It is not going to be... Yes, it is going to get out of there. It just barely gets out of there.
It's a pretty big Zealot Warp in right there for Naniwa. At least Naniwa knows exactly what he's dealing with.
Oh, actually, Nerchio might lose his queen. No, he won't. Colossi starting to make their way forward to begin shelling these spine crawlers. Nerchio wants to come out and pick a fight. Drops a pretty good fungal on top of some stalkers.
Picks off the first Colossus, and that's a massive pickoff already. Naniwa's moving in, man, but there are a lot of spine crawlers, and Nerchio's infested position is just beautiful as always.
It's good, but the Zealots are targeting him down, and I mean, while...
Broodlords are out now, Ben.
Nerchio is just doing a fantastic job. Just fantastic job. Dark Shrine down now for Naniwa. He's going to try to make something happen here with DTs. Could work, because Nerchio is very spread out and doesn't have any detection in his outlying expansions.
There's OC over here. This one is very exposed, so yes, DTs could definitely deal a lot of damage there. Maybe a little bit in his natural as well, but overall, Ben, Nerchio right now has been on 5 bases for a little bit. He's getting quite rich. Ooh, for a second I thought we were going to see another sick fungal. Charge is being researched as well. We have 110 Zerglings on the map, and there's only 1 Colossus remaining, Ben.
That's bad news bears for the Protoss player, Kevin. Nerchio just has just another level of ZVP, Kevin. He really is one of the best Zerg versus Protoss players on the planet. Here comes Naniwa. His whole army is here. He has successfully picked off Nerchio's 5th base.
Yeah, not just that. Nerchio finally miscontrolling a few infestors as well. It's nice to see that he's human too and that he makes those kind of mistakes, as he lost 3-4 infestors in the progress dealing with this Warp Prism RS. So the Colossus got a couple of free shots off. Naniwa's going to fall back right now, but doesn't have a 4th base yet, and that's the biggest problem. If Naniwa had a 4th base during all this, man, anything can still happen. But it's really late.
He's going to have a really tough time securing a 4th base. There's a lot of Lings parked up there at his next available expansion. He's going to have to bring his army up. And by pulling his army way out of position, that gives Nerchio time to reestablish his bases. As we see some DT harass coming down here into the natural. Where's the detection? Oh, it's going to come from the infestors.
Oh, Transfusion's going down.
Makes another fungal. Hatchery does fall. Well done, Naniwa makes another pickoff. That said, though, Kev.
It's funny because normally this expanse would have already been mined out, but because of the crazy phase that we had in the start of the game, the Nerchio was actually still providing minerals.
That said, though, Kev, that was some pretty expensive harass from Nani. 4 or 5 DTs.
Like that's kind of stuff that's really good whenever you're on 4 bases. But Naniwa has some money to spare as well, Ben. And Naniwa also knows that he needs to buy himself some time, because the army that he had was just not strong enough to deal with a lot of Broodlords. So I feel that's the main cause. He knows that most of those Warpins will probably not be super cost effective, but it is buying him time. And hey, we've seen Nerchio. It doesn't happen often, man, but we've seen him in the past sometimes fall apart against a lot of Warp Prism RS. So. It is a way to buy some time for yourself. Nerchio's getting a lot of banelings now as well, potentially to deal with perhaps a Vortex.
Nerchio's building an incredibly immobile army, man. Slow banelings, Broodlords, and...
Slow banelings remind me of your kitty, man, because they wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
Don't make fun of kitty, bro.
You guys don't know, but Ben has a very silly cat, which whenever she wants to attack something, she wants to hide it, but then she starts shaking her ass, so we already know the attack is coming.
Silly kitty. Some zealots harassing the rebuilt 5th expansion of Nerchio, and he's like, whatever, man. I'm just going to attack right now.
Storm is almost ready as well, man. Storm would be really quite a game changer
18
against
18 Broodlords.
Yeah, but they're quite clumped up.
They're very, very clumped up. Mothership's on the way. She's got a long time building though. Oh, storming, hitting a lot of the Zerglings and those Banelings. That's pretty good.
But still, 18 Broodlords, or 18 Broodlords might just be a little bit too much. Has a couple of cannons to buy himself some time, but right now, man, this is an army which Naniwa can't deal with, and he can't really blink below those Broodlords either, because he's going to blink right on top of Banelings.
Yeah. Tough spot to be in. He is going to try to make that big blink, but here come those Banelings. They get tangled up on the Broodlings, oddly enough. But it just doesn't matter, Kevin. The army of Nerchio is too big. The Zerg swarm too many. As Naniwa will lose this 4th expansion, and his hopes of this game are dwindling so very much. 172 supply for our Zerg player, 109 supply for Naniwa. Dire straits, Kev.
Don't really know what to say. Kind of sad, man.
Mothership did pop out. If there is a single way back into the game for Naniwa, it would be a big vortex.
Yeah, but it doesn't really have any icons at the moment either, and
nor
he's
does
kind
he have
of
the gas to make them.
Yeah, he's kind of low on gas. He's gonna make a couple of more gates. Since one thing that he does have is minerals. Nerchio just continues morphing in a lot of Banelings. Naniwa is gonna try to go for a Warpaint. I think we missed a Warpaint during all that. During that big fight, Naniwa was still aggressive with his War Prism on the other side of the map. So excuse me for missing that one, but.
The thing that just blows me away is how easy Nerchio makes it look.
Yeah.
It just makes it look.
And it's really not that easy.
I mean, it's unbelievable. His game sense, his positioning, his decision making, it is all absolutely world class.
Looking forward to watching Nerchio play the WCS finals later on this year. And WCS Europe was not Nerchio's tournament, but guys, don't let that fool you too much, because I really think, and some people might call me crazy, but I think Nerchio is capable of taking it on.
I certainly think we're going to see a deep run out of him as he is making his way up into the natural of Naniwa. That Vortex does go down, catches some units, but not that many.
All the Banelings go in as well, so Naniwa has to be careful. Storm going down on those links. A couple of Broodlords are exposed. Naniwa is dealing a reasonable amount of damage over here, but the numbers are just too much.
Way too much. The Banelings doing the slow little wiggle into the 3rd base of Naniwa, the kitty attack, as Nerchio just continues to relentlessly push forward. There comes the infested Terrans. Guess you did win, says Naniwa. Good job, congratulations. 6-0, clean sweep for Nerchio. A really unbelievable feat. I don't think there are very many people on the planet that can 6-0 Naniwa.
No, that's without a doubt. I do feel a little bit sad, but not only because I would have loved to see more games or a closer series. I also do feel that Naniwa got very, very unfortunate in 2/3 games. Now, Nerchio is an absolutely fantastic player, and I definitely don't want to take anything away from his victory, because we are both big Nerchio fanboys. There's no secret in that. But the score is a little bit deceiving, as Naniwa did get unfortunate as well.
Yeah, it's tough. It is painful to see that. Naniwa's a great player. He's a champion, Kevin.
Yes, and we shouldn't forget that.
And we can't take that away from him. Certainly, there is always the I guess the
Rocky Balboa story. He will come back.
And there's always I guess that sort of air of like rebelness around Naniwa that kind of follows him around. He's kind of this the badass, right, in the Starcraft 2 scene. So sometimes people like to get down on him a little bit, but he's an incredible player. He's had some incredible achievements. He's one of the best in the world.
And he will be back, Ben. I am not worried about it at all.
He will be back.
And I don't know, every now and then, even the greatest players in RTS history, they go through a period where they really struggle with a matchup. And yeah, Naniwa seems to struggle with PvZ, and then playing against Nerchio, who has arguably the 2nd best or maybe even the best ZVP outside of Korea. Or maybe even in the world.
Some of the best inside of Korea, too.
Yeah, because we've seen Korean Zerg struggle with the processes that Nerchio has beaten. And he didn't just beat them, he beat them really convincingly.
Last 5 games against MC or 5-0.
Yeah, I think it was 3-1 at IEM and 4-1 at home.
Yeah, something really sick like that. So, guys, we're pretty much done with Homecraft, but that does not mean that Starcraft is over. We do have our European rebroadcast of last night's games coming up, and there are some fantastic ones in the mix. MC versus Tasia, one of the best PVTs I've ever seen.
If you haven't seen that last night yet, guys, you have to watch our rebroadcast. It's sick. We don't want to spoil too much, obviously, but you're going to have to watch that. Of course, it's going to be the 4th best of 3 of the night, so we're going to start the rebroadcast with Oz versus Eon and just take things from there. Targa versus Wangzin is coming along.
Bishu versus Vibe was a very fun series.
And then MC versus Tasia. If you haven't seen it, you should really check it out.
Incredible games. We're going to run those right now, I think.
Maybe we can still get Dennis on the line. I'm not sure if Dennis is up for that.
We'll play a quick commercial. We'll see if we can get in touch with Dennis, and we'll let you guys know what we're going to do after the break. Stick around, folks. Some final thoughts, and ultimately some more StarCraft still coming from the NASL.